Speak English like a native. 10 Daily Habits That Actually Work Part 1. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode. I'm really happy that you're here today. Whether you're listening while walking, studying, driving, or simply relaxing at home, thank you for spending your time with me. Today we're going to talk about something that every English learner dreams of. Many people ask the same question: how can I speak English like a native speaker? It's a great question, but the answer might surprise you. The truth is, speaking English like a native isn't about having a perfect accent. It isn't about using difficult vocabulary or memorizing thousands of grammar rules. It's about building simple daily habits that help your brain think, understand, and communicate naturally. If you've ever felt nervous when speaking English, don't worry. You're not alone. Almost every fluent English speaker who learned it as a second language once felt exactly the same way. They made mistakes. They forgot words. They pronounced things incorrectly. But they didn't stop. They kept practicing little by little every single day. Imagine learning to ride a bicycle. The first time you try, you probably fall. The second time, you might still struggle. But after enough practice, you don't even think about balancing anymore. Speaking English works the same way. At first, every sentence feels difficult. Later, it becomes automatic. Let me tell you about a student named David. David dreamed of working for an international company. He studied English for years. He knew grammar very well. He could solve grammar exercises faster than many of his classmates. But there was one problem. Whenever someone asked him a simple question in English, he became nervous. One day, his teacher asked, "David, what did you do last weekend?" David knew exactly what he wanted to say. In his mind, the answer was clear. But instead of speaking, he started translating every word from his native language into English. His brain became busy searching for perfect grammar. After several long seconds, he simply smiled and said, "Nothing." His teacher laughed kindly and said, "David, don't chase perfect English. Chase communication." That sentence changed David's life. Instead of spending 3 hours every day reading grammar books, he spent 30 minutes speaking English out loud. He talked to himself while making breakfast. He described the weather while walking outside. He watched short videos and repeated every sentence he heard. At first, it felt strange. Sometimes he forgot easy words. Sometimes he made silly mistakes. But he continued anyway. After 3 months, something amazing happened. His confidence grew. His pronunciation improved. Most importantly, he stopped being afraid of making mistakes. That's exactly what happens when you practice consistently. Now, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you actually spoke English out loud? Not reading, not writing, not thinking, actually speaking. If your answer is, "I don't remember," today can be your new beginning. Here's your first habit. Speak English every single day, even if it's only for 5 minutes. Many learners think they need 1 or 2 free hours to improve. That's simply not true. 5 focused minutes every day are much more powerful than studying for 3 hours once a week. Let's try something together right now. Look around the room you're in. Choose one object. Maybe it's your phone. Maybe it's your chair. Maybe it's a cup of coffee. Now describe it in English. My phone is black. It has a large screen. I use it every day. I listen to podcasts on it. See? Those are simple sentences. But simple sentences build fluent speakers. Here's another example. Imagine you're making breakfast tomorrow morning. Instead of staying silent, describe every action. I'm opening the refrigerator. I'm taking out the milk. I'm making coffee. The coffee smells wonderful. I'm eating breakfast. This exercise may feel funny at first, but it teaches your brain to think directly in English instead of translating from another language. That's one of the biggest secrets fluent speakers know. They don't translate. They think. And thinking in English starts with very small sentences. Another important habit is listening every day. Many learners only study grammar, but they rarely listen to real English conversations. Your ears need training just as much as your mouth does. Listen to podcasts. Watch interviews. Enjoy YouTube videos. Listen to stories. Even if you don't understand every word, keep listening. Your brain slowly recognizes patterns, pronunciation, rhythm, and natural expressions. Think about babies learning their first language. They don't start by reading grammar books. They listen for months before speaking. You can learn in a very similar way. Don't worry if you miss some words. Focus on understanding the general idea. Every day your listening skills become stronger. And when your listening improves, your speaking improves too. In the next part of this episode, we'll explore more powerful daily habits that can completely change the way you learn English, including why making mistakes is actually one of the fastest ways to become fluent, and how one simple notebook can transform your vocabulary forever. So take a deep breath, smile, and remember this. Every fluent English speaker started with simple words. Every confident speaker was once a beginner. Your journey doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to continue. I'll see you in part 2. Let's continue with another habit that can completely change the way you learn English. Many students are afraid of making mistakes. They think, if I say something wrong, people will laugh at me. Because of this fear, they stay quiet. They wait until their English is perfect. But here's the truth. That perfect day never comes. Imagine a child learning to walk. Would you expect that child to walk perfectly on the first day? Of course not. The child falls again and again. Nobody says, you failed. Instead, everyone smiles and encourages the child to stand up and try again. Learning English is exactly the same. Every mistake teaches your brain something new. Every incorrect sentence brings you one step closer to speaking correctly. In other words, mistakes are not your enemy. They are your teacher. Let me tell you about a young woman named Sarah. Sarah moved to the United States to study. She had excellent grades in English at school, but when she arrived, she discovered that real conversations were very different from classroom exercises. One morning, she went to a coffee shop. The cashier smiled and asked, "What can I get started for you today?" Sarah understood only a few words. She became nervous and simply pointed at a picture on the menu. Later that evening, she felt embarrassed. She thought, maybe my English isn't good enough. But instead of giving up, she made a new plan. Every day, she visited a different cafe, store, or library. She spoke to at least one person in English, even if the conversation lasted only 30 seconds. Sometimes, she misunderstood questions. Sometimes, she answered incorrectly. Sometimes, she forgot simple vocabulary. But every conversation became a lesson. 6 months later, she realized something surprising. She was no longer translating every sentence in her head. She was responding naturally, almost without thinking. What changed? Her grammar books didn't change. Her dictionary didn't change. Her courage changed. She accepted that mistakes were part of the journey. Now here's another habit that successful English learners use. Keep a vocabulary notebook, but don't write single words. Instead of writing only the word beautiful, write a complete sentence. This speech is beautiful. The sunset looks beautiful tonight. My grandmother has a beautiful smile. When you learn words inside real sentences, your brain remembers them much longer. You also learn how native speakers naturally use those words. Let's practice together. Instead of memorizing the word excited, create your own sentence. I'm excited about my vacation. I'm excited to learn English. My little brother is excited about his birthday. See how much easier it feels? Now try another word. Confident. I feel more confident today. Practice makes me confident. My teacher is confident that I will improve. This simple habit builds both vocabulary and speaking skills at the same time. Now let's talk about listening again, but in a smarter way. Don't only listen. Repeat. This method is called shadowing. Choose a short audio clip, maybe 20 or 30 seconds long. Listen once. Then play it again and repeat exactly what you hear. Copy the speaker's pronunciation. Copy the rhythm. Copy the pauses. Don't worry if you sound strange at first. You're training your mouth to move like a native speaker's. Professional actors use this technique. Language learners use it. Even interpreters use it to improve pronunciation and speaking speed. Here's a short example. Audio says, "Good morning. How are you doing today?" You immediately repeat, "Good morning. How are you doing today?" Again, and again, and again. After several repetitions, you'll notice that speaking feels smoother. Another important habit is reading out loud. Many students read silently. That's helpful for understanding. But reading aloud trains your pronunciation, your confidence, and your speaking muscles. Take a simple article, a short story, or even the subtitles from your favorite video. Read slowly. Read clearly. Don't rush. If you make a mistake, smile and continue. Remember, progress is more important than perfection. There's one more habit I want to share before we finish this part. Celebrate small victories. Maybe today you learned 5 new words. Celebrate. Maybe you understood an entire podcast episode without subtitles. Celebrate. Maybe you introduced yourself confidently in English. Celebrate. These small successes build motivation. And motivation helps you stay consistent. Many learners quit because they only focus on how far they still have to go. Instead, look back once in a while. Remember where you started. Notice how much you've already improved. You know more words today than you did last month. You understand more conversations than you did last year. That's real progress. In Part 3, we'll discover the final habits that separate fluent speakers from learners who stay stuck. We'll also talk about building confidence, thinking in English naturally, and creating a daily routine that actually works, even if you have only 15 minutes a day. So stay with me. Your English is improving one sentence at a time, one conversation at a time, and one day at a time. I'll see you in Part 3. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with me until the final part of today's episode. If you've listened from the beginning, you've already learned that confidence grows through practice. Mistakes are valuable teachers, and small daily habits create big results over time. Now, let's finish with the final habits that can help you become a confident English speaker. One of the most powerful habits is to stop comparing yourself to other learners. This is a mistake that many people make. You watch someone speaking fluent English on YouTube and you immediately think, "I'll never speak like that." But remember, you're only seeing the result. You're not seeing the years of practice, the mistakes, the embarrassing moments, or the hard work behind that fluency. Everyone has a different journey. The only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. If you know 5 more words today than you knew last week, you've improved. If you understand 1 more podcast than you did last month, you've improved. Progress doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be consistent. Another habit is to surround yourself with English. Change your phone language to English. Watch English videos. Listen to English music. Read simple English news. Follow English-speaking creators. The more English becomes part of your daily life, the more natural it feels. Think about it this way. If you spend only 15 minutes studying English, but spend the rest of the day surrounded by your native language, your brain quickly switches back. But if English appears throughout your day, in your phone, your music, your podcasts, and your social media, your brain stays connected to the language much longer. Now, let's talk about confidence. Many people believe confidence comes first. Actually, action comes first. Imagine standing at the edge of a swimming pool. You can read books about swimming. You can watch videos. You can study every swimming technique. But until you get into the water, you won't become a swimmer. English works exactly the same way. You become confident by speaking, not before speaking. Every conversation is practice. Every sentence makes you stronger. Even if you make mistakes, you're moving forward. Here's a simple daily routine that you can start tomorrow. Spend 5 minutes listening to an English podcast. Spend 5 minutes reading a short article aloud. Spend 5 minutes speaking about your day. That's only 15 minutes. 15 minutes every day equals more than 90 hours of English practice in 1 year. Imagine how much you can improve with 90 hours of focused practice. Now, I'd like to give you one final challenge. After this episode ends, don't switch to another video immediately. Instead, speak in English for 2 minutes. Tell yourself what you learned today. Talk about your goals. Describe your room. Talk about tomorrow's plans. Don't stop to translate. Don't stop because of mistakes. Just keep talking. Those 2 minutes may become the most valuable part of today's lesson. Before we say goodbye, remember these simple truths. You don't need perfect grammar to communicate. You don't need a perfect accent to be understood. You don't need expensive courses to improve. What you need is consistency. Practice a little every day. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate small victories. Keep showing up, even when progress feels slow. One day you'll suddenly realize that you're understanding movies without subtitles. You'll answer questions without translating. You'll have conversations that once seemed impossible. And when that day comes, you'll remember that it all started with one simple decision: to keep practicing. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of English Unleashed. I truly appreciate you spending your time with me. If this episode helped you, keep practicing today's habits and come back for the next episode. Next time, we'll explore another exciting topic that will help you sound more natural, expand your vocabulary, and speak with greater confidence. Until then, take care of yourself, keep learning, keep speaking, and most importantly, never give up. Remember this: small steps every day lead to big success tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next episode.